Hello, hello, welcome back again. Another day of adventure writing, adventure making an adventure. We're going to deal with a villain lair. This villain lair is going to be a monster lair, a lair, a bestial cave. I have prepared a map for you so that this will go as smoothly as possible. I have also tried to establish that I need to reserve my calm and enhance my calm in a situation like this where maybe YouTube cannot keep up with the stream. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. My suggestion is get your ideas ready because I'm going to share as much of this as I possibly can with you. And also too, look, I want to make it clear that I want your ideas. I will include as many as I possibly can. And grab some food and drink. Make sure you're comfortable because we're going to get started. Let's get going. Let's get moving. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about how to write, make, create your own bestial cave lair or a beast lair of some kind. An adventure that you can run, you can plop in anywhere. So how do you do that? Well, as it happens, I do have a map prepared today. I've put it up onto Discord. I have used Dave's Mapper for those of you who are unfamiliar with Dave's Mapper. If you want me to give you the link to Dave's Mapper, I will give you the link to Dave's Mapper. If you want the link to the Discord so you can access the map and my Discord, I'll give you that link. You just need to use the chat to ask me about that sort of stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to do this sort of thing, but first off, I want to get you started by giving you a map to work with. And I'm not going to change the map. The map is the map, okay? What we do is we build to the map. What we're doing is we're building a location-based adventure. For those of you who are unaware, there's a difference between a location-based adventure and an event or plot-based adventure. An event-based adventure it's got a plot line and it's going to have different events that take place. What we're dealing with is the old school way of making adventures, frankly, where you created an adventure with location as the story. Okay, what will drive the story is how the players interact with your location. And I am all for, let's go with a cave, a bear cave. What sort of bear cave would it be? Is it going to be a normal bear, or are we dealing with the werebear? We haven't done a werebear adventure. I'm going to talk about what the main creature will be for this location. So what you do with a location-based adventure is you build out the location, you deal with location only. You let the players interact with it. You have an overarching goal or sort of main thread that they might be interacting with or the reason why they're there. And the rest of it flows from that. And you can actually overlay for your game your own subplots and so forth on top of a location-based adventure. You can't do that with event-based adventures. Event-based adventures don't allow for that. So let's ask the first question. Now that you can see the map, it's only got 14 locations, so super easy to deal with, okay? Not giving you anything huge and hard today. Hashtag, what mighty beast is the main threat or dominates the cave lair? So that is what we'll start with. Now I know that the chat is going to have a little bit of trouble keeping up with the speed of what I'm putting forward. So we're going to do what we've been doing before, was using numbering, but I'm going to have to establish in my head that some of your feedback is being typed in and it takes a little while to show up. Okay, so I've already prepared myself for the fact that I will have to jump back and forth quite a lot. And as long as I understand that and you understand that, we'll get there. It will be all right. Okay, so this is the first question that we need to establish is what is that mighty beast? It could be just a bear, but we could make it a werebear or something like that. Have an idea of what you would like it to be. I would say that its central location is going to be Area 7, which has a little island, which looks like maybe either a box or maybe it's a chair or a throne, or I don't know, maybe it's just a box. And there's a surrounding pool of water. You've got multiple stairs leading down to the central chamber. We have two entry points with stairs leading into this cave location. There is a little bit of verticality to this. There are steps going up and down. We do have a passageway that leads through, crosses over the top of another one. We have an exit out onto what looks like potentially a coastline, maybe crashing waves. This is where area 10 is. You'll see there's a little bit of wiggly lines. That's like could be a pool of water. I think that might be is this a coastal cave? It's close to the sea front, in some way. We have various locations already numbered out, and we'll deal with those as we go. So this is what I would like you to do. Hashtag number. So what you do is you break it down, pick an area that you like and you would like to fill out. I have some material already prepared, so I will work on that. But by all means, please throw your ideas out there. Prehistoric bear the size of a rhinoceros. Okay, so we're really talking about a Bearosaurus. I feel like we're dealing with a Bearosaurus. We're going to give it a new name. Since you said rhinoceros, let's make it a Bearosaurus. We're dealing with the Bearosaurus. It's a central thing. Okay, good. I like that. So this is how you figure out your locations. You go, I'm putting hashtag for my purposes, but you go number of area is the first thing you need to include. If you need to do more than one entry for a location, please include the number each time you put it into the chat so I know where to place it. That'll make it just a lot easier for me to navigate. I do have a Google Doc that I'm working on. I will show you that Google Doc as we go. Number of area, and then we have things like features, description, noises. We might have objects. I don't think we're necessarily going to have furniture, but maybe we do. Furniture, probably not furniture. Furniture is a bit of a question mark on that one. Can I spell furniture correctly? Furniture. Maybe odors. Odors might be a thing for this location. Odor. We don't have to always have odor. Monsters. We might have some traps here. We might have hazards. Caves are always good for hazards. We have things like NPCs. Maybe we have an NPC, something we can talk to. Maybe it's just a monster we can talk to. It's fine too. Maybe there's a puzzle. It can be a super simple puzzle. Lock and key is always a nice way to go. 7 is the location of a Leviathan. Okay. So we've got here prehistoric bear and we have the Leviathan. Now, that makes that pool an interesting situation. We've got to go with this in some way. So we have to decide which one it is. People, use the chat, decide which one you like the most. Are we going with the prehistoric bear or are we going with the Leviathan? Puzzles, objects. We often forget treasure. Okay, treasure does not have to be gold and magic items. It can be just junk or equipment and gear and things they can pick up that might be useful to them or not useful to them. Treasure. So that's how I would like you to consider structuring it. And we have the Bearosaurus and we have the Leviathan. The battle for Area 7 has started. Dun dun dun. Okay, so put beast lair here for now, and we've just got little bits of ideas. So Bearosaurus or Leviathan. What are we doing? Okay, so we've got a couple of different ideas. Let's see how you guys managed to just sort of fill this out. I did grab a bunch of stuff, by the way, if you were wondering, to use if need be. Let me go over the map just very briefly. Entry 1, number 1 is an entry point with stairs leading into the cave location. Entry 2 has also got stairs leading in, but there's in area 3 is sort of like a very small chamber, right as right after you've entered the chamber. And then of course we've got these winding passageways that lead under some sections. Area 4 and 5 are just cave locations. There's no doors or anything like that. Area 6 has got a few rocks or maybe pillars of rocks leading to the ceiling. Area 7 is just a small cavernous area. 12 and 13, same. They're just little chambers. And 14 is a little odd. It leads up to a sort of like a ledge of some kind, and there's a pit, a hole. This sort of 14 has a little bit of a pit near the south end. 10 is a passageway which has a couple of either rocks or pillars in the way, but it leads out to what looks like a shoreline. And I'm thinking this is probably what that is. That's why you see the water there, or a big pool. 8 is just a big, huge cavern. We could put pretty much anything we like there. 9, another big, huge, more roundish cavern. Does that make sense? Hello, Osiris. Hello, Fred Huber. Fred Huber is a patron. Thank you for coming. I can see that people are already starting to put their ideas forward, so I'm going to grab them. 9, Mama, Bear, and Cubs. Mama does not like intruders. Piles of bones litter the cave floor. The room smells of bears and decay. Okay, all right, so let's grab 9. You have scored area 9. So it's sort of away from here. 9. I'm just going to pull at the bear lair, the bear cave. Let's call it the bear cave for now. Bum bum bum. So a adult female bear and 3 cubs. 3 cubs. Cubs are curled up on a I don't know, something. We'll come back to it. Let's just grab the next thing so I don't fall behind, because I haven't so far, which is great. Next, 5, a shrine to the Leviathan. There you can find intricate bone daggers, a golden tentacle idol, and a magic cult leader mask and robe set. So we're going cultist, are we? All right. Let's see. So 5, where is 5? Area 5 is over here, and you're putting a shrine here. Okay. All right. Let's include that. We'll just call it the shrine. Okay, shrine. I'll just call it cave shrine for now. Alright, so we've got a bunch of stuff here. Okay, cool. Alright, we'll come back to that. So we've established that we have a shrine. Oh, I'm just going to grab myself a lozenge as you plug in your ideas. I would like to, as I'm grabbing your stuff and putting it into this document, talk a little bit about how to construct a lair for your adventures too. I'm going to keep it super simple so that it's not complicated. It won't take long. Okay, I have every intentions of making it really easy to understand. 14, what I've got here, a place where you can find a tribe of goblins who have domesticated. Now, Here's the problem. I think you've got to be careful about getting too much going on here. One of the things that I've discovered is that a lot of people, and hello Derp. Derp's a patron. Nice to have you. I'm too tired to suggest things today. You're going to listen though. No problems, Derp. You take a break, sit back, and just relax. So we've got to be careful that we don't try to include so many different aspects to our adventure that the ecology of our adventure kind of doesn't make sense. And I'll talk more about this. I'm going to take your idea, Osiris, and we might modify it a little bit to make it fit a little better. Because if we're going to have something like a Leviathan, I guess the question is, what would the Leviathan not eat? I feel like goblins are things that are going to get eaten very quickly, if you know what I mean. If I was a goblin and they had domesticated spiders, like why would the spiders not have a problem with the Leviathan? Or would there be a problem at all? So if we're going to use goblins, we always use goblins. I want you to think: do we really need to use goblins today? If we're near the sea, and Area 10 leads to a coastline with crashing waves and a rock face, and we've got 2 entranceways in, and we're dealing with a Leviathan in this pool of water, which probably would need to have, Area 7 would need to have an underwater tunnel that leads out to the sea. I think that's what we definitely need to include. Okay, so I'm going to write that in right now. If we're going to include a Leviathan, we have to include something like that. A large underwater passage connects the pool of water to the coastline near area. Is it 10? I believe it is. Okay, so this is how it gets in and out, and it lives in this thing. So we need to have something like that. Okay. Before I get too far ahead of myself, we've actually filled in 1, 2, 2-ish, 3 locations, potentially 4. We're going to just quickly go over what sort of things do you include in a lair. Now, this is a more bestial lair. This is not necessarily a highly intelligent lair. This is a monstrous creature, a Leviathan. But there's a couple of things that you want to include with a villain lair, okay? Or even a bestial lair of some kind. One, it needs to feel menacing in some way. So you've got to find a way of depicting and indicating that there's menace to it. So you've already started using the description of there being bones and so forth. That's a good way of going about it. The next thing is that it needs to be large, enormous, or even colossal in size. There's one of the reasons why the central chamber is so large. Okay, I put squares on it this time so you can see its scale. Each square is 5 feet, so it can hold a really big monster. I made that deliberately. I put a water source there. You could have put a dragon there. You could have put a hydra. You could have put an enormous octopus. You could have put a leviathan. You could have put pretty much anything. You could have put a minotaur there. Could be anything under the sun. That's just the first thing I would say. The next thing is, in terms of size, sometimes villains tend to have extravagant or luxurious lairs. This is not one of those types. This is much more sort of low key. Okay, when you're dealing with beasts, you kind of go the opposite direction. They don't necessarily have all the resources that they might want. What might be interesting though is to include the minotaur instead of goblins. Why not minotaurs, who are cultists to this leviathan? I think that would be more interesting. Do you know what I mean? How often do we see? I know we tend to put minotaurs or beast-like creatures into a maze. Like the bull creature must be in a maze, but that's been done. You know what I mean? Okay, next. Although a lair should always have a normal function, there's usually some sort of unusual function to the lair. It fulfills a different purpose that's not necessarily covered by everything. So, and one of the great things is I think you could probably get away with your rhinoceros or bearosaurus, your bear, and minotaurs living with the leviathan that might actually mesh all right because they've kind of got a bestial nature to them. So there's usually a different function to our normal function. So we've got that to think about. The complexity of your lair shows how the villain mind works. Now, sometimes it means they have never left anything to chance. That means we needed to make sure that our villain, our monster, our big lair monster, our leviathan, has an escape route. We've created an escape route. The pull leads to the outer sea. So that's the escape route. If it wants to leave, it can and come back later. Also, too, lairs often have secret locations or something hidden, so we want to include those sorts of things. You'll notice that there are little circles with the word S or the letter S. Those are secret passageways or secret doors. They are sort of like an access point through, so you can circumvent. So there's more than one option in terms of how to get through it. So you do that deliberately. Okay? Often, whatever the Leviathan is planning to do, okay, we need to come up with what is the motivation for the Leviathan, the main monster or creature we're putting in here. What is its main motivation in some way? And that's the thing we needed to consider. This might be its main lair, or it might have a secondary lair. Okay. If it's not hidden, the lair itself is not well hidden, then it needs to be difficult to get to in some way. And then there needs to be security around the lair. So even a Leviathan living in this cave location, particularly the central chamber, which it's probably restricted to, it can't go anywhere else, it needs to have a relationship to keep up some sort of protection so that things don't wander in and cause it trouble. So have some alliances with something. There's often ridiculous features to a lair of some kind, a chamber, a room, or something. Something often that involves really sick entertainment for the purpose of your villain, your lair, your monster, your big bad. And maybe that's a sacrificial thing that's going on here. Maybe we're sacrificing something to the Leviathan. It's pretty standard stuff, but maybe that's part of what's going on here. Most lairs include some sort of powerful magic. Are we giving our Leviathan magic? Are they using advanced technology? How are they a major threat in some way? What is the actual risk of the Leviathan living here? Or could we just leave it alone and just not worry about it? And then, is there a way of kind of destroying the lair if we want to? If there's a way that we can actually sort of blow it up or have it collapse in, since it's a cave, that would be a fun thing to include somewhere. And then look for your inspiration to Bond. James Bond. It's always Bond. Anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift a couple of things around in here. And I'm going to put our Bearosaurus. Okay. I'm going to put our Bearosaurus into the bear cave in 9. So we just need to describe what a Bearosaurus is. So let's make our Bearosaurus quite a big creature. We can get away with making a fairly decent size. It might be as just a large size and that's it. Or it might be huge size. We can kind of work with a couple of different things. Let's just go with it's just sort of more it's a bear, but it's more dinosaur-like in some way, and we'll go with that. So a adult and a A large adult female Bearosaurus and 3 cubs are curled up. Okay, so we've got our bear cave. We're going to keep our Leviathan. A Leviathan lives in the pool of water. That's exactly right. Do you expect me to beg? Do not beg. I just expect you to die. That's right, die. That's what's going to happen. So a lot of you have made these before. 3 people have voted. They've all said yes. So this is a common thing that people have done before. Cool. All right. Lovely. Okay, let's start including a few things. First off, I'm going to take your idea, Osiris, of a tribe of goblins, and I'm going to call it a tribe of minotaurs. I don't even know if I want to call it the minotaur. I mean, it is a minotaur, but I think maybe we just go with a tribe of minotaurs. And I think maybe we get rid of the spiders, domesticating spiders. I suppose you could have spiders there. But goblins riding spiders is a common practice, right? So let's go with here. Let's go with minotaurs. We always use goblins. So let's put something like that there. Okay. All right. That's a beginning. Let's start with our entrance points. So our first entrance is quite big, and it has a staircase leading up into a cave area. So we just need to describe that as our starting point. I don't know, something like a large yawning cave mouth and a rock formation. Okay, let's do that. I think that's probably good enough. We'll do this one. And we'll put this here. We'll call it the main entrance. And we will include a large cave mouth, a large cave mouth, and a rock formation covered in vines and moss. That'll do. And we will put in here another description: a rough cut wide staircase leads into a dark passage. Okay. Do we want to do anything more with this? I don't know. You tell me. Faint growls echo from within. From within the cave. Okay, so we've established we're going to give them a sound today. Give them a little bit of a hint as to what's going on. Next, 2. Let's deal with that one. Let's deal with this is going to be very similar, but it's not as wide, it's not as large, it's much more narrow. It's about only 5 foot wide, and it does have a staircase leading in as well. So let's try and do something with that. And we'll call this the side entrance for number 2. please feel free to drop your ideas in, people. I'll definitely take on board anything that I think might be interesting. I have a question. Would it be unreasonable to include a tribe of minotaur spiders, like or minotaur driders? Do you know, like a cross between a drider and a minotaur? Would that be more interesting? Let me put that in the chat. Would you like to include with our Leviathan minotaur drider? So, would you like to include minotaur spider beasts? So top half minotaur and bottom half spider. Are we going too crazy? Bum bum bum. I don't know. You tell me. I think it has some possibilities, frankly. Anyway, let's have a look at the next one. Now we could include mushrooms in a cave location if we really wanted to. Probably, I would say closer to the entranceways rather than too far away. We can include ancient fossils in the cave area if we wanted to. Maybe that are sort of embedded into the wall and the ceiling of the cave. That would be interesting. Maybe of creatures that are sort of dinosaur-like, unknown prehistoric dinosaurs or prehistoric creatures. There's always the spider thing. If we go minotaur spider, then we can definitely lean into having some spider webs in here to help fill it all out. That's also a possibility. So have a think about that. All right. 2. Let's go with a hello, Oscar Gross. How are you? So area 2, side entrance. I'm just trying to think in terms of cave entranceways and what you tend to find by the sea, what are you likely to find growing there? And mushrooms aren't really a thing if I think about it. What you might find is you'll probably find a lot of shells. Oyster shells in particular. Let's go with oyster shells. The small cave opening is covered in sharp oyster shells. Okay. Sharp oyster shells with a narrow steer, with a narrow rough steer with narrow something, with narrow steps. Let's just go steps. Narrow rough steps. going up to a tube like tunnel. Let's do that. That is our entrance there. The oyster shells. Shells are hazardous to any creature medium or larger in size and have a chance to injure them. So let's go have a high chance to injure them. Okay, so there's entrance 2 done. Dun dun dun. Jean, hello, how are you? Sosby is here. Okay, let me get you caught up on a few things. 3, plant creatures that have tempting fruit for explorers to drop to feed the dungeon denizens. Okay, all right. Oh no! Top half spider, really, with the mandibles of the mouth parts with eyes as strange places, should be able to see behind itself and sideways. Maybe spider from the pectorals up. You want to go pectoral spider from the pectorals up. You want to go spider head. A spider taut with fur. Inverted ankles with clove hooves, minotaur arms, so that it's gonna. Oh, okay, all right, okay. Let's take Oscar's number 3 and plant that down. So I think that's a good idea. Let's include this. 3. And paste. I don't know what we're going to call it. We'll call it something later, I guess. Plant creatures that have tempting fruit for explorers and drop it to feed the dungeon denizens. Okay. So there's 2 sentences here. For explorers to pick. Okay. I think we should, I don't know, would they necessarily? Okay, so. All right, so this is, I think we're going to take this bit here and change this. Let's say the cave denizens. Cave denizens feed on the round what's almost like a I feel like, let's make it a seaweed creature. Seaweed plant creatures. Okay. Seaweed plant creatures. Because you know how seaweed has those sort of like round sort of water-filled, salt-water-filled pods? Do you know what I mean? They're tempting. Round. Yeah, shaped. Fruit for explorers to pick. And the cutscene is fed on the round fruit pods. The seaweed creatures drop. Okay, I think that is kind of where you were going with this, but I've just tailored a little bit more. There was as a kid, I grew up with, I can't remember what the name of the TV series was, but there was like a seaweed creature in it, and yeah, I love that thing. It's showing its age now, but let's make it seaweed plant creatures. Dun dun dun. Okay, what else is next? Next, spider tour. You reckon that we need to have a spider tour rather than a minnow spider? Spider tour rather than minnow spider. Spider tour. Top half spider and bottom half. Bottom half is basically just it's not really even beast or I guess bull. Beast or bull. I'm kind of partial to the minnow. Minnow drider. I think the minnow drider is my favorite, which is top half minotaur and bottom half spider. But anyway, we can come back to that. Let's keep going through this. The plant fungus or moss creatures would be awesome in a cave with water. Yeah, I think the seaweed monster is a good idea for sure. 6. You want to put raptors in here. A raptor nest uses 1 to go hunt while the bear goes out by 2. So you're suggesting that you want to put dinosaurs in here to be eaten so the wee seeds will spread. Okay. Yeah, pods. Yeah, I feel like the fruit are kind of like pods myself. Fruit pods. Oh, that's really what we're trying to say and communicate, isn't it? Fruit pods are the way. Okay. Yep, round fruit pods. There we go. We got our fruit pods in. And where was I? I was cutting, so 6. Area 6 is big enough to probably put raptors there if you really wanted to. We don't have a description of that location at present. It looks like I might be doing a bit of that myself today. Okay. I'm going to put a question mark on that. I'm not too sure what to go. Raptors, raptor nest. I mean, how many raptors? Raptor nest. It's really the raptors use entrance. Use the main entrance. Use entrance. I don't know. Is that going to work, or have we chucked a very small entrance in when we're dealing with something that needs a much bigger space? There's almost an element of maybe the caves are too small for them to get through. Whereas it would be easier if maybe the bear was in a different location. We might going to have to think about that a little bit more. I think we might have a problem with where our positioning is. The bear cave being in 11. Why do I have 11? I have 11 for a reason. Oh, it's because I see. because we've got things moving around, and it's pushing things. That's what's going on there. Every time I write something in, it changes stuff. Okay. So we need to actually include this bit. It goes down. What is 4? 4 and 5. 4 and 5. There we go. I think 5 was supposed to be the shrine, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure the shrine was supposed to be 5. Yes, it was. So we've actually just moved things around into the wrong place. 5, beast lair, and then 3, area 3, area 3. Got area 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know that we had actually established what 6 was going to be. So if 6 is not established yet, oh, did we have 6 there? Yes, we did. We had 6. So 6 has been established, so we need to push this around more. Okay, so I need to take something out, I'm sure. Bum bum bum, shrine 6. This is in the wrong place. That's what it is. Let's take that, cut, and push our 6 in. And that is the raptor nest. Okay, 5, 4 is not done, 7, 8. So we just need to do a little bit of pushing and pulling. Cave bear. Okay, all right, so let me give you just a quick look at what we have so far, and that will help move everything along. Fruit wants to be eaten. So we've got our seaweed creature. Where is it? All right, so we're taking the fruit. Raptors also guard 1. Oh, I suppose they would. If you got them in 6, that would be 1. So we put not well chewed or cooked will root in the stomach like the old kid's tale of watermelon seeds growing in the stomach. Okay. You guys are really latching on to the seaweed pods, aren't you? Dear. Should have guessed. It's going to happen. Right. Okay. Drop that in. Pods have pods that burst. Carnivorous birds or dinos, though? Yes. Or what's the food chain ecosystem? Well, here's what I was saying. I think I should show you what I've got so far. In either 1 or 2, there may be a dead adventurer's body. Has clues leading to what is within the lair. Okay. And why not? Yeah. A corpse. Cohabitation, you can't get too carried away with cohabitation. So what I'm going to put in here, let's put a dead thing in a place that makes the most sense. Let's put it in here, a corpse with rotting equipment, armor, and weapons is resting on the ground outside the cave mouth. There we go. So, all right, so I've done that. Let us see if we can catch you guys up a little bit. Yeah, I don't think we can get to. I think raptors is probably not going to be we can't put too much in here, otherwise it's not going to work. And I almost feel like the bears probably need to have a better access point. So they need to have a bigger space. They're not going to use stairs necessarily. Area 5 might be better for the bears or the Bearosaurus rather than, and maybe the raptors are probably better with being over in Area 9. I'm very tempted to switch those over. Moving 5 and 6 and 9 might be the way to go. Anyway, let me show you what we have so far so we can catch you up on what has been done before we continue on. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Let's make sure we've got the right screen up so I can show you what there is so far, and then we'll go from there. Okay, here we go. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to shift a few things around because just logically it's going to make more sense. Bear cave, lair. Okay, adventure. We haven't got any adventure hooks yet. We'll deal with them shortly. We don't have any main features for the cave location, but we can go into that in more detail later. We're not going to worry about wandering monsters right now. I think we'll at least leave that. But location information. We have our main entrance, and I think we can lock that down as being a large rock formation. You can see the face of it. There's vines and moss there. Maybe the vines actually hide the entrance. And moss that hang over the entrance. Okay, rough cut staircase. Okay, we've got that. Dark passage. We've got a corpse there with some equipment, gear, and weapons that are sort of rusting away. We can hear faint growls coming from the cave. Next, side entrance, which is number 2 on the map. Okay, we have put here oyster shells, narrow staircase, tube-like tunnel, and our hazard is potentially getting cut on the oyster shells. Okay, nothing particularly fantastic about any of those right now. We have area 3, and area 3 is very small. It's not a big area. That's the first thing to consider. If we put seaweed creatures here, like how big are those things going to be? So area 3, we've got seaweed creatures. I'm not sure how well that'll work, but we'll keep going. Next, area 4 has not been established at this present time. Area 5 is a cave shrine. I think we're going to have to move it. I don't think it's going to be able to live there, in my opinion. I think it'd make much more sense for it to be somewhere else. If we keep going down, we've got a raptor nest in 6. Again, I'm not sure that's going to work. The beast lair, okay, or the Leviathan lair. Leviathan lair. Whoops, Leviathan lair. This is area 7. It's the central part. Okay, we've made sure there's a large underwater passageway connecting the pool of water here to the coastline. I need to describe it yet. We haven't done 8. We've got 9 as a bear cave. I think we're going to have to move the bear cave to somewhere else. I think the bear cave is going to have to go somewhere else. 10, 11, 12, 13 haven't been done. We have a place where a tribe of, I don't know whether it's necessarily going to be goblins or minotaurs, domesticating spiders. I don't think that's going to work. We haven't really described it. What we're doing is we're putting stuff in our location, but we're not really dealing with the location. So we need to start describing what the location is like. It's probably our biggest fault right now in terms of what we've got. I've got a few things I can plug in here that I've already got pre-written, sort of. So that's the gist of it. So now that we know what we've done so far, let's go back and try to establish the areas that we need to finish. Hello, DJ Loser Mind. How are you? Nice to have you here. I'm going to prompt you again, people, with this, and let's try to finish this. I'm also going to give you an update onto what we've done so far. Hidden entrance. Yeah, partially hidden in some way. I don't like hiding the entrances, but I want it to look like it's not completely obvious. It shouldn't be hard to find, though. I don't think a dice roll to get into the place, not a smart idea. Wandering monsters, bats, swarming bats. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think you can put bats into a watery cave. I think that's fine. Yeah, absolutely, we could do something like that. I'll mark it down. I have no problems with that. I'll mark down that we're going to have some bats at some point. Now, let me update people, and then I'll go back and fill in whatever I've missed from the chat. We're doing all right. It's not an hour in, and we aren't doing too badly, honestly. So what areas need finishing? Well, before I even do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle a few things around, because I don't think this is going to work the way it is. Looking at our layout and what we've got here, I don't think it makes any sense that a Bearosaurus is going to be living in 9, because what would it do? Is it going to go and swim go out of 10 and swim? I don't think so. I think it's much more likely that it lives in area 5. So I'm going to put 9 into 5. I'm going to put the shrine maybe better in 12, or even in 13. Even 11 might be better for that. So let's move, because we need to have a big enough entranceway for this blooming bear to get out, this Bearosaurus. So the bear cave needs to move. And I think the bear cave should live in 5. So we'll cut that. And we'll put it where currently our cave shrine is. Paste. Okay. We'll take our cave shrine that we've got, which we've got a little bit of description of, which is great. And we'll shift that location and we'll stick that, I think we're going to put that in 11, because it's close to where the Leviathan is. And that would probably make more sense to put it there, so we'll put that in 11. Okay, paste. So our cave shrine has moved a little bit. Going back to everything else, a raptor nest so close to the likes of a bear, I don't know that that's necessarily a very good idea. I don't know that they're going to get along very well. Our seaweed plant creatures. Another question to be considered is like, do our seaweed plant creatures need to be there? I think they might actually work better in a bigger location, because area 3 is so small. And I mean, you could put them into area 4, but would the bears be affected by that, and would they want to be there? I think area 10 for the seaweed creatures might make more sense, because it's closer to the coastline. Do you know what I mean? If we've got if we've got water breaking against the rocks, and there's like an exit way or an entrance way in area 10, I think that the seaweed creatures probably need to be there. Then we can actually then we can make that kind of like a seaweed forest. You know, we can have dangling seaweed forest going on here. So let's take 3 and move 3 to a different location, since we like the idea, but we need more space for it. So we'll cut that and we'll put it in 10. Paste. And this we'll call a seaweed forest. Whoopsies. Forest. Okay. Now that we've got a seaweed forest, so let's go here, something like a wide range of green and black seaweed hangs from the ceiling of this what's the best way of the something passage, twin passage. And I think that is what we want to do with that. So let's put our seaweed plants there. A cave shrine somewhere else. We've got our raptor nest. I still don't know that the raptor nest makes sense to be where it currently is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm moving things around a little bit. I'm going to give you an update, and we'll shift things around as best we can. But I want to just make sure that it's going to work. Now, if we put a bear there and we have that going on, raptors. Honestly, I don't know that raptors and bears are going to get along at all. Do you know what I mean? I think we could probably get away with a dinosaur of some kind, but I don't know about that. I don't know about raptors. So I'm not sold on the raptors idea in 7, in 6. We might have to do something else with this. So the raptor nest, I think it would be better if we just made it a crab nest. Do you know? Honestly, let's just make it a crab nest. Giant crab nest. That makes more sense. Giant crab nest. And we'll take your raptor idea and I'll plug it down somewhere else and we'll come back to it and we might use it. You never know. Never know with these things. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But I think that's probably better. Let's just put a crab nest here. And then what we do with it after is 6. Okay. All right. So now that I've done that, done a bit of restructuring, move things around here. We've got a few things that still need to be finished. So let's give you that information. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, let's go down here. Need to be finished. And I will give you the numbers and then we'll go through and I might have to move a few things. 3 and 4. I think 3 and 4 are definitely still to be filled. Somebody's already started to write something up for 4, which is great. Nice one. 3 and 4. 8 and 9. And 9. And let's go with 12 and 13. And actually 14 too, honestly. 12, 13, and 14. Okay, all right, let's plug that in. All right, now that I've done that, back to just collecting up your ideas. Seems like dinos would have to leave the area to hunt, contending with the Minotaur. Yeah, we've got to be careful about how many things we have here. Okay. So 12 superhero bodies scattered at cave entrance, sign above entrance, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Ah, dear. That's what you want to put into 12? Really? Fred just likes to give the players a hard time. I mean, that's what an adventure is all about, right? How can we make their life more difficult? Wandering monsters, swamp mechanics, creatures of fluttering wings, tiny beady eyes. Yep. Damp walls and mold. Well, okay. The question is, where are the damp walls and mold? Oh, you want main features. That's what you want. The cave passages and chambers are and mold. You really can, I don't know. I don't think that they necessarily would be covered in mould with damp walls. Walls and ceilings. So main features of our cave. Okay, well done. Nice one. DJ, got it. I guess it was a cave, looked like it would be a mountain. This is intended to be sort of like a cave for a cave formation, a rock formation that has a cave in it right next to a coastline. That's really what we're dealing with here. Had an entrance. Okay, so now we're into this. We can just pick up the next thing. 7. You've got 7 here. An underwater exit, we already have that established. The shrine and the seaweed creatures, or just the seaweed itself, is an environmental hazard. Sounds like the biggest points to me. Okay, all right. Okay, I think we've established it. Hello, Nacho. Nacho Man is a patron. Nice to see you. Afternoon. Just came here to drop in like love. No problems. Good luck, Fred. Have a good one. No problems. Thank you for being here for a little while, mate. Okay, I'd either go 1 for the shrine. No, not putting 1 in the shrine. Or 13. I mean, the shrine could be 14. You do realise we could just make the shrine 14. I don't know that I think 13 is any better than 11 myself. 14, make a concealed or puzzle lock entrance. No, I'm not adding a door. There is no puzzle lock door here. If it's not obvious on the map, there is a passageway that leads from 11 to 13, a secret passage, and there is a passage leading from 7 to 10. There is a passageway, it's sort of like a secret door that allows you to cross through there. But no, I don't think so. I don't think we need a puzzle lock because the only puzzle locks you would establish would be either in area 13 and 11 or in area 7 and 10. Do you know what I mean? So puzzle lock, what sort of puzzle lock are we talking about? And I'm all for let's include secret doors and a puzzle lock, but the question is, what is the puzzle lock going to be? Okay, a puzzle lock opens the secret walls doors that look like cave walls in area. Now, let's make sure I get all the areas down. Since you're talking about puzzle locks, we can come back to that. What is going to be the puzzle lock? What are we dealing with here? How are you going to establish that there's something that you need to put into the lock to open it? Okay, so we have area 7, 10, 11, and 13. And area 7, 10, 11, and 13. Okay, so we've got to have something else going on here. I'm putting this into the main body of it. 4, a cave that has been carved but abandoned, signs that it's now a bear trail. Okay, now we're talking. Oscar, well done. We don't need to worry about what it was in the past. Are the players ever going to find that information out? As a game master, when you're creating adventures, I think one of the things you've got to definitely consider is the information in the adventure that you're creating something that only you would know about that makes sense to you? And will your players ever use that information? Do you know what I mean? And if there's no way for them to find out that information and it's only just background for you as a game master, it's actually unnecessary. Do you know what I mean? Bear trail. Okay, but you've got a beginning for 4, which is great. Definitely 11, 10, 9 would make a good seaweed forest. I think 10 is the way to go myself, because it's so close to the water. Yeah, so I've done that. For also signs of exploration of a dead adventurer. How are you going to... So that's fine, but what other signs? If you just write down there are signs of an adventurer being there, then what else? Give me what the sign is. Do you know what I mean? Oscar, give me that sign. What is it? How are you going to establish... for example, the bear trail, okay? There are signs that that it's now a bear trail with large animal prints in the sand. So that's the only way we could establish that there's a bear trail here. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so I've put in the sign bear tracks in sand for that location. Because you're going to have sand in a cave, you can have rock in a cave. Decide whatever you want to do. But what signs in 4 is there that there were somebody was exploring it? Like, what would that be? That's look like? Is it more footprints? Is it different footprints? Are they going to stay around long enough? Something made, man-made, or carved out for when it was right? No, but there's no carving. This is all. None of this is really man-made, apart from the stairs. And 4 has got no. There's nothing indicating that there is. Okay, 10 additional. Okay, several skeletons of assorted creatures have seaweed growing out of them. Okay, nice. This is additional for 10. So are we packing too much into one location? I think what we do is, you know how you were talking about how there are signs in 4. Let's put the skeletons there in 4. Then, so several skeletons of assorted creatures have seaweed growing out of them. And are scattered across the ground. Now, why does this make sense? One, because that's probably where all of the bones that the bears drop once they've eaten is in this cave. It's kind of like a larder, isn't it? Let's say it's the bear. It's the bear larder, really. It's what we're dealing with here. It's a bear larder. Or the bear dump. It's where it dumps all its refuge. So we've got a few things going on here. That makes a lot more sense. That works. So we can actually put that right there. How about mimetic carnivores? What is that? You're going to explain that a little bit more to me. I'm a little bit lost as to what that is. I'm not too sure. Let's just drop this in here. I don't know what that means. Paste. And moving along. Plenty of stuff could wash up through area 10. Yes, during the high tides and storms, wash out to the other areas. Absolutely. Okay. Lost World book. I'm not sure. Hello, Agile Monk. How are you? Agile Monk is a patron and also a moderator. Nice to have you. 12, 13, 14 could be entrance area and shrine room, some sort of special hidden. Do you know, really, the more I think about it, the more I think the shrine room should be area 14, because it feels like it's more likely going to be a shrine area, but maybe it's not. Maybe it has to be a living space of some kind. But anyway, if it's salt water, there wouldn't likely be any mold or fungus unless they're special. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Is that, you know, you might have lichen and other growths, but that's probably about it. During high tide, not flooding, and maybe not enough water to really wade in. Okay, all right. So water getting in during high tide, but not flooding. Okay, so let's see here. So we've got to put it on a timer of some kind. If you're going to have that sort of thing going on. I see something like a little circle with an S in the wall between 11 and 13. Yeah, that represents that this is a secret wall, or it has like a secret door, allows access through that part of the cave. That's what that is there. So we just need to establish what is the thing that unlocks it, those secret wall sections. How do you get through? Do you know what I mean? How about the temperature? How's the temperature? It's getting cooler. It's not winter yet. Great live game with Wally DM and the boys the other night. Oh, thank you, John. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We are returning in 2 weeks to basic Dungeons and Dragons, or basic D&D, Back Me D&D. Back Me D&D. We're going back and going to kill Bagel. Is it kill Bagel? Yeah. Castle Mistamere. That's what we're going to do. So 2 weeks. I'll let you know more about it sooner rather than later. But yeah, that's the plan. About 2 weeks, we'll be back there. Puzzlock here would go for collecting different components. One, you have to summon a monster to fight it, to get it. You getting too complicated. How are we supposed to do that? Do you know what I mean? How are we supposed to do that? Go lock and key. It could be as simple as placing a shell, a special shell, into the wall, into a cavity in the wall. That's it. It could be as simple as that. And now all you have to do is find the shell. Do you know what I mean? Now, those shells can definitely be defended by a monster and a creature in a location, but you've got to give me a bit more. Do you know what I mean? A little bit more required. The shrine should have some sort of crypto diagram. Not explaining mechanics. Crypto diagram. I don't know why we need to have necessarily a crypto diagram, but I'm marking it down. Paste. Crypto diagram. Okay. Right, we're a little bit messy today, but here we go. Let's keep going. So really the puzzle door should not be easily identifiable as a door or a type of machinery. Exactly. So the thing is going to be, if you go into area 11, one, do you find the actual wall section that is potentially a secret door or not? That's our first thing we need to consider. Because it would make much more sense that it is it's not a door as such, it's a wall section. So really the puzzle door should not, yes, it's right. Pressure puzzle lock, 2 pieces that relates to the shrine, 4 signs of a torch being used recently, and some, why not arrange the tool? You've lost me completely, Oscar. I've got no idea what you're talking about there. I know you're trying real hard, but I don't understand. Pressure plate, 2 pieces that relate to the shrine, 4 signs of a torch being used recently, and some other. You're trying to indicate. Here we go. I don't understand. Yeah, still don't understand. I still don't understand. I am confused as quite a bit, actually. The stairs, they are on the map. Yes, the stairs are on the map. Oscar, I don't know what to do with that. I know you're trying. Yeah, let's just take this. Maybe I'll decipher it later. Maybe my brain is not able to do so in the middle of a live stream. That's probably what's going on. So we paste that. Okay, I'm not too sure what to do with that right now. The beer larder needs to be a thing. Beer trash and leftovers. When we definitely have that there. 14 is definitely the beer larder. or dump, really. So we've got that established. Good one. Nice. Yeah, Bargle must die. I can confirm that AJ Pickett will be there and Mr. Welsh, Glenn, is going to show up. And of course, I will be there, and Wally, and hopefully we'll be able to drag 2 other fools along with us. Carnotaurs. Imagine a T-Rex the size of a raptor, very strong ambusher. Oh, has skin like a octopus that mimics surroundings. Michael Crichton, Lost World. Okay, I see what you're saying here. Carnotaurs. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'm going to take a note of this down, Oscar, because it's interesting. And I am struggling to get it. It's definitely interesting. I just got to make sure I get it down right. Okay. Let's keep going. Got a lot of ideas here, and we're still not actually filled out what we need to get done, which is unfortunate. We still got some empty locations, but we're getting closer, which is something. Okay, map star symbol can just indicate a steeper sloped floor. Okay, a map stair symbol can just indicate a steeper sloped floor. It could be. That's true. Okay, that's a good point. I'll make a note of that as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be stairs. I see what you're saying. Fred, it's a good point. It really is. Something needs to be in 14. I agree. And 14 looks like it has something. There's a lower level that leads up to a higher ledge, and then there's a pit, like a big hole right on the lower level section. So we just need to establish what 14 is. We might be able to explain the carved stairs or area altered for people to use. There's no doors. That's right, there's no doors anywhere. It could be a slide or a slip, exactly. The 11 to 13 passage should just be a narrow passage. No, I think we can put something there. It's just what will be there. That's the thing. It doesn't have to. We do not have to fill it with monsters. There are 14 locations. It's not a big location. We just need to put something interesting there to interact with. Do you know what I mean? I like the idea of the seaweed forest and the hanging seaweed from the ceiling. And your seaweed monsters is a great idea. We just needed to find the right place for it. But we can do other things. We can do other things. Anyway. So why would we need to sneak past area? You wouldn't need to, but here's the thing. By giving your players alternative routes, okay, by giving them alternative routes, that gives them choice. If there's something in 10, and it doesn't have to be a monster, that's the thing. If you want to sneak past area 12, you could by using this secret passageway. Whether you would realize that you're actually sneaking past it, but there's an alternative route, I don't know. There are lots of links here, okay? The question is, why is there a passageway that just goes through here? Secret door or secret wall from a 7 to 10 and 10 to 7? Good point. Why is it there? But it may not be in use right now. That's another thing to consider. Anyway, let's keep going. PCs really sneak. They lead with a sword point. Well, that tends to be true. Have to accept that the cave system is essentially entirely natural, save the stairs. Exactly. Now you got it. Now we got it. Okay. You asked what size the adventurous was in 4, torch used in 1, and mutilated old torch. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have 4, torch used in 1 and mutilation of old tools. Okay, I see what you're saying. Aha, got it. Right, so this is better. So let's put something in there that indicates that there's something in 4. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff here, but let's put something else here. partly burnt away torch is half buried in the sand with a tinderbox and a bundle of 9 torches. There we go. Area 4 is looking much better. Nice. Well done. Thank you, Oscar. Good. Stairs are in the cave. Hello, Pale Rider. I'm going to update you. Okay. 2 and 3 both have stairs downstairs leading under 5 and 6. Slip and slide would work. You want to put a slip and slide. Oh, I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, because the one passageway leads over the top of the other. So it kind of suggests there's some elevation going on here. Okay, so that's a good point. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to update the locations in a second, and we'll continue on. But my general feeling is we're actually doing all right. We're about halfway through. And we probably will need to do sort of some adventure hooks for something like this. So hanging seaweed to climb from, yeah, maybe. I think we've done the hanging seaweed already. I don't think we need to do that again. I think that's fine as is. Okay, let's update you. Let's get you a new update on everything, and catch Pale Rider up since now he's here. I've only got about half an hour, but I'll do my best. Okay, so that's that, and then an update on the areas. And that would be good. Yeah, there is a pit in the lower. This is why I'm saying if we wanted to have a shrine area or a sacrificial area, you could throw stuff down there if you really wanted to. But yeah, there is a pit there. Oops, sorry, people. I pushed that in too soon. Let me just remove. Okay, all right, cool. Let's try that again. Sorry, let me catch up. Okay, so back to this. Area 3, 4 is done. Area 4 is done. So we've only got Area 3, which is a very small location. 8 and 9 still need to be done. So 8 and 9. Then we still have areas 12, 13, 14. Still need to be 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we're down a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So that's what we've got. And I will do a quick, darn it, I'll do a quick update so you can see where things are. And then I'm going to have to start plugging some stuff in and while you're putting in your ideas. Okay, this is what we've got so far. And in a very short space of time, I'm going to start asking for adventure hooks. It's going to be happening very shortly. So Area 1, main entrance, rock formation. We've got vines and moss. We've got a corpse here, stuff like that. We've got sounds, growling noises. Side entrance is covered in oyster shells. It's narrow. It's kind of hazardous, might injure you. 3 has not been done. 4 is a bear dump where all the sort of the tracks of the bears come through here. There are animals, skeletons sitting here. There's an old church. Is half buried in the sand with a tinderbox and a bundle of 9 torches. 5 is the actual bear cave where we have a Bearosaurus, which is sort of like a dinosaur-like bear. It's quite large. It's very prehistoric. It's got some 3 cubs. It's a female. Doesn't like intruders, things like that. 6 is going to wind up being a giant crab nest. We'll describe that in a second. 9 is the main area in the center, which is the Leviathan lair, which it lives in the pool of water. I haven't described that area yet, but we do have a large passageway leading from the pool to the coastline in area 10. 8 and 9 have not been done. 10 is a seaweed forest with hanging black and green seaweed from the ceiling. Okay, we have seaweed creatures here that drop fruit pods. For those of you who like the idea of including fruit pods, you can. And also we have 11 is a cave shrine. We've just sort of described it having like an intricate bone dagger here, a golden tentacle idol, and a magic cult leader mask and robe set. I actually feel like 11 should probably be going to 14. I feel like that's probably where it needs to live. But we haven't had a definitive yet that that's what we should do. Then we have 12 and 13, and then 14 we've got I don't know what we've got there. It was an idea that was roaming around. We started with goblins on spiders. I started talking about minotaurs, and then we kind of got lost. Anyway, so that is the gist of what we've got so far. Okay. So I'm going to ditch this, and I need another lozenge because I'm running out of voice. And I'm going to start adding in some stuff. I had pre-written a few things just in case things got a little bit difficult to fill in and we were having trouble. The problem with caves is, like, how do you describe a new location that's yet another cave location? It's the same problem as if you have a cave location that's dominated by mushrooms. How do you describe a cave full of mushrooms different ways? How do you make it distinct and different from what something else was? That's a difficult thing to do. So now that we've established that, let's start working on, I want to put in a bit of information around 10. So a wide range of green and black seaweed hangs from the ceilings of this twin passage. A opening in the wet passage, looks out onto the coastline with say black jagged rocks. Okay, an opening, and the wet passage looks out onto the coastline with black jagged rocks and large waves breaking onto the cliff face. Okay, I think we've got that. So that's 10. Nailed that down. Okay. 7. 7, like a ritual feeding place for some sort of aquatic creature. It's the Leviathan. So that's, you wanted to have a Leviathan there, so we have a Leviathan. So this could be where you would feed the Leviathan. 3, trapped by Minotaur tribe, ropes, tripwires, pressure plate. Okay. So, maybe it's seaweed. Okay, so we're going to do this. 3. Trapped by, what sort of trap? So tripwires, pressure plate, rock, and stairs. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Let's do this. Mark this down. Paste. And did I grab everything? Okay, next one. Let's do 7. I haven't really given you much of a description. We just know that we've got a Leviathan that lives in this pool. So this this colossal cavern has a huge, it's a massive pool of green water in the center with a small island. Okay, small flat island. Okay, so we got that bit down. Keep going. We have numerous stairs leading into there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different entranceways. So 5 different passages feed into the cave, with a few having stone staircases. Chiseled. Chiseled out. Okay. Okay, cool. Next, the island, the center pull, center of the pull has a. Now let's put something here. A stone box. With a lid. Let's give it a lid. Okay, so I've done that. We've done this. We needed to, let's keep going. Okay, so maybe it's they're feeding at 7. At 10, it just gets to taste you. Okay, all right. 8. A centaur type creature with an elven female torso and saber-toothed body is fighting 4 giant spiders. I think spiders in a sea cave is probably the wrong thing. Let's make them giant crabs. I think it's much more likely. Possible name, her name's... Okay, so we've got an NPC. Well done. and you want to put that in area 8. Well, okay. Dun 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 dun. I think that could work. Let's see. A centaur type female torso. Let's just say centaur, saber-toothed body. We're getting it's fighting 4 giant. Right, so let's take 8, because 8 has what? Nothing much going on in 9, and then we have 8, which whatever it might be. We'll come back to that. But you want to put crabs in there. I actually think we should put them in instead of an 8, let's stick it into 6. I think it would make much more sense to stick it into 6. Because 6 has actually got a crab nest. So let's put it into 6. Paste. Okay, so this is a centaur. A centaur is fighting 4 giant crabs. Let's see. A female. Okay. Okay. Centaur is called Tigress. And is I'm going to say struggling to battle crabs with 2 scimitars. Okay, I think that's part of what you wanted. Not completely, but you've got a name, you've got a threat, you've got somebody to save, which is great. And we've established, we've got our crab nest. 6 is sort of knuckled down a bit more. 9, worship. Okay, Oscar. The worshippers of the shrine insert who are in the ceremony preparing their trek to the door to the shrine. They have a piece of the puzzle. Okay, so, but what is area 9? You've created story elements, but you haven't created 9. What is 9? Is the shrine in 9 now? Is that why you're trying to move a shrine to 9? We always have this problem, don't we? Is we wind up going into story and plot rather than going into location and filling out the location. And okay. I don't know. Look, I honestly think we have to establish what 14 really is. Let's take this idea, drop this in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, because you guys have got lots of story ideas. We've got lots of creatures, probably too many. But we don't actually have location. What the heck is the location? You know what I mean? We have very little of that. NPC sound cool, but I think they're going to really expand the playtime of the area. You can definitely complete the map in a short... That's fine. That's the entire point. Or build it up and make it your own. No. Okay. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing, but let's grab this again. Back to location. Back to actually, let's just deal with the locations themselves. I was hoping we're going to get adventure hooks. Let's just deal with location. Remember, there's certain locations we haven't filled out. Forget about stories. Forget about NPCs, because we're not going to have time to get it done. Okay? All you deal with is turn a location into a location. Okay? That's all we're going to worry about. Because if we don't do that, then we don't have a structure. We need to have at least a structure. Okay, that would be my suggestion. I think at this point we can establish that the most sensible thing, okay, is that we've got to do something with 14. We've got to do something with 14. It has to have something there. So that's the first thing you need to consider. It's a big area. It's definitely a central point. Okay, next. Now, you don't normally have mushrooms in a cave like this, so we're not going to do that. What else can you have? No, this is probably not going to work. Here we go. Ancient fossils. I think we should have a cave that is covered in ancient fossils, because that could be interesting. And that will give us something to work with. Where we put it, we could put it smack into area 3, which would give us something to work with. Or we could put it somewhere else. It could be cave paintings. You know, we haven't even talked about putting cave paintings up, or wall paintings of some kind. Waterbeard 9 is a... okay. All right. Oscar. Area by area. Yeah, let's go area by area. The areas that we still need to finish. Let's just deal with those areas. Think really hard about how to fill it out. Dear. Okay, so let's say area 3. Doesn't have to be anything terribly special. Okay. And we'll just call this the fossil cave. This small cave has ancient fossils of unknown creatures embedded into the walls and ceiling. Okay. First thing, so 3 is now down. We've at least got that bit there. If we need to put something else there, we've got lots of ideas to pull from that you've already come up with. Next, 9. 9 is a cavern that appears to have been a waterbed that was drained through the passages that lead to 7. Okay. Okay. All right. Sand scarabs. Okay, so a lot of sand scarabs are coming up later, are they? Right, so sand scarabs. So now how do I do this? How do I describe that appears to have been a waterbed? How do I describe that drained through? Yeah, okay, so we've got something in 9, but I'm still a little bit lost on that. Okay. Fight something at, so let's nasty sand scarabs, which again is Not back to location. Location, people. Think location. It's always the biggest issue we have in these live streams is focusing on location rather than focusing on creating stories. And I know you're all about, we're creating an adventure, we're supposed to create a story, but you're actually not. When you're creating an adventure, you're not creating a story. Your players do that. Do you know what I mean? And 9. So fighting something at 1 and 9 gets you to 14 to do something and then fight and escape from... Okay, so that's we're going again. We're not going in the right direction. Okay, so let's. I'm going to pick up another location and I'm going to write for that location. Area 8. Where is Area 8? It's right here. It's very close to the entrance. It's close to the main pool, and it's a big area. What is there? That's what we establish. Not story, not monsters, but what is actually there. What makes sense to be there? Okay. So what do we have in terms of a marine creature? What lives, for example, what lives on a sea coast cave wall? So what lives on a sea coast line cave wall? Okay, barnacles. Barnacles, we can do something with barnacles. We could definitely have barnacles everywhere. It's not hugely interesting, and it's a bit like the oyster shells, but at least it's something. So let's consider gooseneck barnacles as a possibility. Okay, this is a common thing to find in a cave location. It's a big area. We can actually put gooseneck barnacles pretty much anywhere, and this is let's say this is a thing for this area. 8 gooseneck barnacles. Gooseneck barnacles cover the walls, ceiling, and floor of this rock cavern. Okay, and we'll call this barnacles cavern. Okay, all right. Now, we don't have very much else there, but you've got lots of other things we can drop in there later on. We have at least established that location and what's there. Okay, here we go. Keep going. 9 is 6 upside down, is it? Six. I see. Yes, we're including natural, nautical, spiral, variety shells. Now you're talking. Does anybody remember there are sea snails? You can literally, we could put sea snails into a location. That would be quite interesting. We could actually just have shells or clams in a location. But what else is there that you can play with? Petrified coral in 8. You want to put petrified coral in 8. Well, let's see. It probably should be close to coral. Should be close to the seabed, right? Petrified coral was going to be showing up somewhere, but where would that be? It's an interesting idea. Petrified coral, good idea. I'm just where to position it is the trick right now. Petrified coral. I do like it though. 14. The walls are covered in paintings depicting the monster queen's creation with a crude sacrificial slab stained in black blood. The floors are covered with bone fragments and it smells of old death. There we go. It has become the sacrificial chamber, has it not? 14. Finally, 14 has been narrowed down. The sacrificial chamber. Kevin. Got plenty of elements there that would work. So, nice. Great. Awesome. Like that. That's good. You know, you often find glowworms hanging from the ceiling in caves. It's quite a common thing here in New Zealand. So we can actually take the idea of incorporating that concept if we wanted. So bioluminescent glowworms, and we can put that in a location that we think would be interesting. And we have area 12 and 13 as potential places that they could go. 9 fossils, seen it in some of the caves near my home. They form by draining. Yeah. I actually like the nautical spiral shells. The spiral shells would be a good idea too. So absolutely, let's keep a variety of those things going. Absolutely, sea snails would be awesome. Snails literally have biological harpoons for hooking. Am I out of time yet? I'm just about. Anyway, let's grab a couple of other ideas here. Petrified coral. We talked about that before. We can put all sorts of things in here. Let's see. Giant nautical spiral shells. And I think we put that in area 12. Let's put in area 12. The shell cave. And make that giant nautical spiral variety shells. Shells crawl over the sandy cave floor. Okay, so we've got part of that going. That's good. And we need the seashells. We need the sea snails. Sea snails are a thing. So let's grab that. Central height might be a thing. Whatever on the ceiling. Growing. Yep. Light source. Glowworms. Okay. So we're almost. How many locations do we need to fill out? I think 13 is going to be that. Paste. The snail cave. Okay, we'll put that there. And then glowworms. No, undo. Did I get this right? Yeah, there we go. Let's take this. Copy. Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. This is what I want. Bioluminescent. Strings of glowworms hang from the walls and ceiling. Okay, so that's that, and I'm out of time. Which is a shame. I would have liked to have done something with adventure hooks today, but it was a struggle just to get our locations nailed down. Okay, so we didn't get it done. 7, the interior of a Leviathan skull. I'm a little lost as to what that's supposed to mean. Is a connection between 5 and 8 a cliff? I don't know what you're talking about. 5 and 8? No, I don't know what that means. And the other 3 are downstairs. She'll cave of seaweed, snails, whatever. Sounds good. Awesome. Okay, so yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to adventure hooks, which I would have liked to have done. But we do have a basic structure to start with. From there, you would have to take all that information and turn it into something. Okay, in other words, it's not an adventure with just locations. You still have to have adventure hooks. You still have to decide if you want wandering monsters or creatures. You still have to deal with the main features of the location. But we have at least something marked down in each location and tried to make it in some way make sense without filling the thing up with every room being a monster. Okay, it's another cave with another monster. This is one of the things that you always run the risk of doing, is just it's another monster, or you wind up building story when you're dealing with location. So we've got a few things going on here. Area 1 is the main entrance. 2 is the side entrance. 3 is a fossil cave. 4 is the bear dump. Okay, 5 is the bear cave. 6 is the giant crab nest. Okay. 7 is the Leviathan lair. 8 is the barnacle cavern. 9 is the glowworms. I think that's going to have to be the worm cave. It's called the worm cave. 10 is the seaweed forest. 11 is a cave shrine. 12 is the shell cave. 13 is the snail cave. And 14 is our sacrificial cavern. Okay, and so we can build all the rest of your notes that you've got into this now that we have a structure. It's just a shame. I would have hoped we'd got all our locations nailed down sooner, but we didn't do it. It just didn't happen. And you know, I should have expected that to happen, because it happens to us every single time. But we got most of the structure there. The rest of it, it's still not an adventure until you do something else with it. But you still have to deal with each location, and at least describing each location is part and parcel of dealing with that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I'm out of time, and I need to go to work, and so I will catch up with you tomorrow for Game Master preparation, and we'll be covering adventure creation, probably to be looking at protection quests, writing adventures. I'll be doing a little bit of the stuff around that. I'm going to give you some new information to work with to help sort of focus you down on adventure creation. For those of you who need that, those of you who don't, you won't care. But that's what's happening tomorrow, okay? So thank you very much for everybody who watched and listened, everybody who took part in the poll. I do appreciate it. It's interesting to see what people's experience has been like. I want to really thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon, all of my subscribers, but particularly patrons, because you are what makes this possible. When I get a chance, I will try to finish this and put it up onto Patreon, but I'm falling behind quite a bit, unfortunately, but I will get there eventually. I'll take some time off and I'll work through it all. I want to thank everybody in the chat who's been sharing their ideas. Pale Rider, Jean, Oscar Gross. I want to thank Agile Monk. I would like to thank Fred Huber. I would very much like to thank the likes of Natra Man, who jumped in for a little while. I said Pale Rider. Derp, who had made some suggestions as well. I can see that Jean has made put a lot of effort in today. So has Oscar, really throwing out huge numbers of ideas and seeing what will stick to the walls in some way, literally. DJ Loser Mind, thank you for being here as well. And if I've missed you and I didn't mention you, it was not my intention to leave you out. Osiris was here for a little while as well. I forgot about Osiris. So thank you so much. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.